Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm not sure if that's something that you say, but I'm here today for a live Q&A for all of you. If you have any questions about dropshipping, this is just some time for me to sit down, answer all your questions that you have from this week. So my name is Paul J. Lipsky. I teach people here on YouTube, and I have online courses about how to dropship on eBay and Amazon. And the method that I teach is where you sell products on eBay, and then once they sell, then you purchase them from other websites like Walmart and ship them directly to the customers. It's called drop shipping. So it's a very simple business model, but I know that people have a lot of questions about it, which is why I do this Q&A every single week for you guys, even if I'm sick. So what I do is I take pictures of any questions you guys have from the week and I put them up on the screen. Or if you're here live, you can ask them in the live chat or just say hi in the live chat like Lazy Abram does every single week. And I put them up on the screen to answer them for you guys. So if you want to ask your questions live, you got to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification because I don't have a set time that I go live. I go live a different day and different time every single week. So the best thing to do is subscribe and hit that bell notification. So, hey, Lazy Abram, thanks for being here. Hey is here. I'm so happy. This is my favorite time. Hey, what's up? Hey, Janul. Happy New Year's Eve, says Kelvin. Do you think 16 years old is too early to start drop shipping? So if you're 16 years old, there are some roadblocks that you're going to run into when you're trying to start any business, including an online business like drop shipping. The great thing about drop shipping is you can really technically do it at any, or I say technically, like you can physically do it at any age, anywhere in the world. You don't have to be tied down to one location. But the problem is if you're 16, you can't do things like open bank accounts necessarily that you might need, like business bank accounts, or even set up an eBay or Amazon account. Or get the credit cards that you need. So you will need like some adult supervision, so to speak. But for instance, I have a really good friend named Carter Maxwell. You might know him. He's the YouTuber previously known as the High School Hustler. And he's been selling online since I think he was like 12 years old. And he just turned 18, I think. So he's been doing it for a while and he's still really young. And he just got his parents' help. He had his parents help him set up an eBay and Amazon account. But he pretty much did the rest, and they trust him after a while because he's shown competence in that area in all things selling online. So you do have to get some adult help, and obviously you want their trust. So don't abuse their trust in any sort of way. But yeah, it certainly is possible at 16 with adult help. Can you explain with detail how you successfully opened a stealth account? So I'm not going to talk about that in this video because there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of steps that I want to show. So I will be having more videos about eBay stealth accounts coming up very soon. They're just being edited right now, so they'll be available very soon. So if you do want those videos, subscribe to the channel. More information about eBay stealth accounts is coming up. There are lots of steps involved in order to make sure that you do it correctly. But I'll go over more of that in the next videos I do about it. Ben says, sorry you're sick. It's okay, man. I'm feeling okay. Just my sinuses are stuffed up. And my voice I'm just losing it for some reason. How was your Christmas? It was excellent. Really good rest and relaxation time. This is awesome. Miss Office Work says, hey, Paul, my name is Moaz or Maus. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm your student and I make $40,000 per month in sales. Thanks, Paul. So thanks for sharing your win with us. I love sharing wins here on the YouTube channel. I pretty much have them every single week, students who are crushing it on eBay or Amazon. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on your success. Okay. Happy New Year from sunny Atlanta. I need to head down south really soon because I'm up visiting family in New York and it's just way too cold here. Which is probably why my throat isn't liking it. Okay. How is the van life? It's excellent. Thank you. If you want more information on what we're doing living in a van, why we're living in a van, you should check out my other YouTube channel, which I'll have linked up in the description of this video. It's specifically me and my husband traveling around in our Class B camper van and living the van life, exploring the country as digital nomads. Cool. All right, so first question is about stealth accounts. Do you set up your own stealth account or did you buy one? So if you guys aren't familiar with what a stealth account is, if you haven't watched my previous video on that, a stealth account is basically when you create a separate account that eBay doesn't know you own. So if you ever get suspended on eBay and you want to start selling again, you need to start up a stealth account. So you can either set one up yourself or you can buy one. I always recommend people try it on their own first, because when you buy one, there are a lot of steps you have to take anyway in order to properly use it. And a lot of those steps that you have to take, you have to do when you're setting up the account. So you might as well save the money by setting up your account, or at least try to do it that way first. So I do recommend that you set up your account on your own first and try that. You can always buy one later. This is a really great story from Sarah. She says, I got a negative feedback from a woman purchasing a shirt, and the listing had a no return policy. Now on eBay, you set up your return policies. If you say no returns, well then technically a buyer can still return the item under certain circumstances. So for instance, if the item arrives damaged, if it wasn't the correct item not as described, or even if the item arrives late, they can still return the item. But in this case, so basically the only time the buyer wouldn't be able to return the item is if they received it and then just decided they didn't want it. It's called buyer's remorse. So Sarah says that's what happened here. The buyer just decided they didn't like the way it looked on them and wanted to return it. So Sarah apologized and reminded them there's no returns. So the buyer left some negative feedback. Sarah called eBay and they removed the review and blocked the buyer. So really great. I mean, people sometimes say like, oh, does eBay really help you? Yeah, look, if you have it in your policies, they will enforce it. So there you go. I wanted to share that. That was a great story. Rich says, Happy New Year. Thanks for being here, Rich. Okay. Okay, so recently I made a video about stealth accounts, and in that video I explained how I was using my accounts, and I also had an old eBay account that I didn't use anymore that was unlinked with my main eBay accounts. So that old account got suspended, which didn't matter because I didn't use it anymore, and it did not impact or affect at all the accounts that I use. So I didn't even care that the old account got suspended, and I was actually running experiments on it. So it was taking a risk that it might get suspended. And basically the experiment that I was running was I wanted to see what would happen if I never uploaded any tracking numbers to that old account. My thought being that eBay technically says that we don't have to upload tracking numbers for our orders. So I wanted to see what that would do to my account if I didn't do it. And that's the only thing that I changed. This was an older account. That's the only thing that I changed. And the only thing that I did different on that account than any other account I've ever run. And yet that account got suspended. So no, eBay didn't tell me specifically that was the reason I got suspended. But that was the only thing that I changed on that old account. The accounts that I was still using, the accounts that I'm still using now, I run them exactly the same way, except I'm uploading tracking numbers. And obviously I'm going to continue to do that. So even though eBay didn't specifically say it was because of a lack of tracking numbers, that obviously, I think it's pretty obvious that was the reason why that happened. So even if you call them, they tell you that they're not required. I think that they are. And in fact, the letter that I got from them, the email, it said what I had to do was add tracking numbers. It's like the only thing that they asked for. So There you go. I think that's enough proof that you need tracking numbers. Let me just grab some water. Okay. Rich says, you seem super focused on eBay more than Amazon, or so it seems. Any particular reason? Rich, there is a very practical reason why I tend to talk about eBay more than Amazon. In all honesty, it's because when I make videos about Amazon dropshipping, it gets far less views and engagement than my eBay videos. And the questions I get far more questions about eBay than Amazon. So I just make videos about what you guys want to hear about. So if you want to hear more about Amazon, then when I make an Amazon video, watch it and comment on it. But for now, what people want to hear about is eBay, so that's what I make videos about. That's basically why I do that. Oh, wow, this is awesome. Some Janul actually started and you inspired me and triggered some sort of an entrepreneurial instinct of mine. Thanks for that. That's what I hope to do. I hope to be I hope to light the spark in a lot of you guys to start your own business, be your own entrepreneurs, be your own bosses. And that's why I do it. I do this for you guys. Now, I wanted to say one thing about Rich's other comment about eBay versus Amazon. Like I said, this purely comes down to what you guys want to hear about. But Amazon is fantastic. Selling on Amazon has been absolutely incredible the past 2 years. And I see that there's a ton of potential with Amazon. I'm always encouraging people to use Amazon or eventually at least step up from eBay to Amazon because there's so much potential there. And Amazon, as we know, is absolutely exploding. More and more people are using it. So Amazon is huge. And I think more people should be interested in Amazon. Maybe that's a mistake I'm making, is that I'm not making more videos about it, and that I should be encouraging you guys to give Amazon dropshipping a chance and to give a go with it, because there is so much potential with it. There is so much opportunity with it. It is growing so much, and you guys should be taking advantage of it, I think. And so I think Rich, maybe that's the under question here that Rich has is, I think I know Rich has done eBay and Amazon, so I know he understands how powerful Amazon is. So maybe that's the reason he's asking this question, because he's probably wondering, I'm looking at my own stores, he might be saying, Rich. I'm sorry, Rich, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I see this with a lot of people. So even if it's not you saying this, Rich, I know I hear the same thing from other people. They say, I started eBay and was really enjoying it, and then it went to Amazon. It's just like a whole nother level. The number of sales and the consistency and the volume is just incredible. So I do think more people should be using it and taking advantage of it. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I have to spread the word a little bit better. Maybe that's something I'll be doing in 2020. Yeah, so Jose, this is obviously a good idea. If you delete items that aren't selling well and then upload similar items to ones that are selling well, that's obviously something that's really smart to do. So I would definitely do that. Okay, so Travis has a really good question about Home Depot that a lot of new sellers don't know about. So we use Home Depot. We drop ship from Home Depot onto Amazon and onto eBay. And returns are usually very easy with Home Depot. But sometimes you run into some issues like this one, where the item that you bought for your buyer contains a lithium battery. And I thought I had examples. I thought I had a box around here. No, actually, I threw it away because I actually bought something for Christmas with a lithium battery from Home Depot. So on the outside of the box, it will actually have a sticker that says, this contains a lithium battery. So UPS and FedEx, but Home Depot mostly uses UPS. So UPS is allowed to pick up an item from Home Depot's warehouse, even if the item contains a lithium battery, and then deliver it to a customer. But they will not pick up that same item from the buyer and return it to the Home Depot warehouse. they will not pick up the anything with a lithium battery from a customer. Maybe that's something to do with the quality control. Maybe they trust Home Depot that they package the battery up correctly and don't trust the customer. I don't know what it is, but if you try to do a return for an item that contains a lithium battery, Home Depot will not be able to give you a return label. Instead, what they will do is they will set up a return with one of these like more obscure carriers, usually something like Nonstop Delivery, or what's the other big one? Nonstop Delivery, or I'm blanking on the name, but Nonstop Delivery is a big one that they use. So then Nonstop Delivery will then pick up the box from the customer's address and then return the item. So all you need to do is tell the customer that. Explain to them in a much more succinct, nicer sounding manner than I just explained it. Explain that the battery cannot be returned via UPS, and instead we're going to have Nonstop Delivery pick it up. Here's the date and time that they're going to come. Make sure the box is available for them to pick it up. And that's it. That's the way you do that return. Hey Noah, what's up? Thanks for being here. So Reagan says, if I'm using my PayPal balance to buy items from Walmart, cash back points, if you're just using PayPal as a payment, yeah, so you're not going to be able to take advantage of cashback credit cards. So I would use cashback credit card if you can, and you can immediately pay off the credit card with your PayPal balance, or transfer it to your bank and then pay it off. That would be my suggestion, because that 2% that a lot of the cashback cards give you will add up. I think it is worth it. How does someone who's international buy from suppliers? I've tried looking into gift cards but couldn't find a lot of info. Yeah, I mean, that's how you would do it, gift cards. What do you mean you can't find a lot of info? So it really depends on the supplier. Like if you're buying from Home Depot, most international people can actually buy Home Depot gift cards directly from CashStar, and you can then get as many gift cards as you want and then use those gift cards to buy from Home Depot. Walmart, you can usually buy Walmart gift cards through third-party websites, usually at a small discount or maybe break even. Sorry. So I don't know if that's answering your question, but let me know if you need more clarification there. All right. Only ask your question once. You don't have to ask it 7 or 8 times. How do I deal with 1099K tax form? Give it to your accountant. That's what I would do. Yeah, exactly. Give it to your accountant and then you file your taxes. Hey, Bobby, thanks for being here. Hey, Johnny, so glad you made it to your first live stream. Okay, so Michael says, I just started your eBay course, so congratulations, Michael M., and have an established PayPal account I use for Shopify. Will it become an issue to use this account on my eBay store? It's not an issue. You can use the same PayPal account. In fact, there are rules in PayPal about how many accounts you can have. I think you can have one personal account and one business account. So just keep that in mind. Of course, there's ways like around that by creating a new business, like a new LLC. But just be aware of that. I would call them if you're ever going to open a second account. A little off topic, but I just want to throw that in there. How do you deal with long shipping times when drop shipping items from Aliexpress to eBay? You have to let the buyers know. You have to have the right expectations right from the start. So you have to put that the items are coming from China. Don't lie about that, because buyers will find out and that can get your eBay account in trouble. So say they're coming from China and give a realistic expectation of how long it will take. If you want to be extra cautious, it's really great on AliExpress when you find a really good supplier, and then you can drop ship. You can target their items, not necessarily. So most people will target items from AliExpress. They'll go through all the different items on AliExpress and find ones. But something that works really well is if you find an item that works and the shipping time's good and you're getting good communication with the supplier on AliExpress, then you can actually you can go into their store and see what else they're selling. Because if they're doing well with one product, if you have a good relationship with them for one product, you can then use that relationship for all the products that you buy from them and ship to customers. And you'll also have a more realistic idea of how long the shipping will be. Another thing you could do is always order the item and ship it directly to yourself to look at the quality and the shipping time. Not the most practical thing, but if you see something you want it anyway, just give it a shot and you can kind of get a good idea. But yeah, that's what I would do. Make sure your business policies are set up for the right handling and shipping times, and say the items come from China, because they do. Janita says, hey, I hope you feel better soon. Thank you. So cool I'm able to see a live from you finally. I'm always at work. We have to work all holidays. I'm supposed to be at work today. LOL. Well, I'm glad you're home. I hope I'm not getting you in trouble here. Maybe I'll take your face off the screen. I don't want to get you in trouble. Maybe you're homesick, just like I should be. I have a question about Lowe's. I'm a veteran and I get 10% discount. Do you know if I'll be able to use it for drop shipping? Wondering if Lowe's will disable my account. I've been wondering this myself. I've always seen that discount, and I always wonder how far you could take it before Lowe's says that you're abusing it and shuts it down for you. In the past, I would have said it's unlikely they'll shut you down, because Lowe's was just very lenient in the past. They let us use like an unlimited number of coupons and let us, combine tons of items into one order to get into one order, so that the order would be high enough for the coupons to actually work. So they've been very lenient in the past. They've kind of gotten stricter about it more recently. And you can't use coupons as much. You can't combine items into one order, just things like that. I would say give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, you can't use it anymore, and you either use Lowe's without that discount, or you find another supplier. Okay. Temporarily blocked. Okay. Okay. Should I hire a VA even though I'm new to dropshipping? I wouldn't. For most people, I would wait until you start to see some progress and then hire one. Okay. I have more questions about AliExpress. You guys had some strong opinions about the video I made about AliExpress. So here's Jonathan. Jonathan says, the biggest issue I have with AliExpress is that you are dealing with Chinese sellers, and a lot of those sellers are quite shady and will do anything to make a buck. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's basically what he's saying. Now, basically what I said before is a great response to this question or comment. You got to test things. When you're on AliExpress, you can see, based on past reviews, how good a product is and how good a seller on AliExpress is. You want to pay attention to that. AliExpress also gives badges to reputable sellers on their platform. So you want to look for those as well. All these things you want to look at because that's going to let you know before you even list the product up for sale on eBay if this is an item that you want to be selling on eBay. So look for those things. And again, if you find a manufacturer that works well with you, that you trust because you've bought a bunch of products from them, see what else they're selling, because you want to work with people like that as much as you can and just continue to build that relationship. It'll be a lot easier to do that than try to guess whether someone else on AliExpress is someone you want to be buying from. So it's not something to be scared of, AliExpress and these different sellers on there. In the past, I think it was a bit more shadier, I guess you could say. But, with the review system on there, with reviewing the products and the stores, and the protection that AliExpress itself gives you, I think it's worth it when you consider how much money you can make drop shipping from AliExpress to eBay. This guy says the quality of the items is poor, and I'm just paraphrasing what his comment was about AliExpress items. And I would agree and disagree with you on this, because just like any supplier, the quality can be really poor or really excellent. And again, this requires you to look at the reviews. It requires you maybe to buy the item for yourself, like I mentioned before, and to listen to buyer feedback. If you sell three of the same item, and all the buyers look at that item and want to return it or complain about the quality, I would stop selling it. I mean, the first three buyers you sold it to all complained about the same thing. That's a red flag right there. So just be smart about it, but there are quality items. And look, the items are much, much cheaper than you would find on other websites. So like, for instance, there are like knockoff Apple AirPods on there, right? They look very similar to AirPods, but they're not AirPods. And AirPods are normally like $200, but these ones are like $30. Now, you can't expect them to be AirPod quality for $30 when they're normally $200 if you buy them from Apple. So buyers know that. They have to kind of understand that they're paying less. The quality is not going to be as good, of course. But again, there is still great quality on AliExpress. And then he left a further comment saying, well, also, the reason why we shouldn't use AliExpress is because when you drop ship from Amazon, they ship in 1 day, but AliExpress takes 30 days, and it's simple math. Well, the math is not that simple. Again, because there's so many factors at play here. Yes, if you buy something from Amazon, the item can get to you in 1 day. And if you buy it from AliExpress, it could take a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get to you, or rather to your buyer. So why wouldn't you use Amazon? Well, so many reasons. First of all, the price is much cheaper on AliExpress, much cheaper, which means that you can get it to your customer for cheaper and still usually make more money with it if the buyer is willing to wait, as long as you give them the right expectation that the item will arrive a little bit longer than maybe they're used to. So right there, the price is math. I mean, price is math. So it's not simple math between just shipping time of 1 day versus 2 or 3 or 4 months, or weeks rather. The other component of this that I wanted to talk about before my brain just went fuzzy was that, I don't remember. So Amazon ships in 1 day, AliExpress. Oh, the other thing is that a lot of times the items that you're drop shipping from Amazon were originally purchased from the same people selling the product on AliExpress. So people drop ship from AliExpress onto eBay and Amazon, and if they see a product that does well, they buy a whole bunch of them and then ship them to Amazon's warehouse, and then Amazon just they mark up that price a lot because the item can be shipped in 1 day. So you're complaining about the quality of the item and saying that you should only use Amazon and not AliExpress, but what you're shipping from Amazon is in very, very, very many cases the same item you'd be selling from AliExpress. So just keep that in mind as well. The difference, again, though, even though it's the same exact product, is that it's much cheaper from AliExpress, and you can get it to the customer cheaper as well. So they're more likely to buy from you, and you receive more in profit. Okay, a few questions from Andrew. What are the best niches to sell on this time of the year, meaning December 31st, early January? Anything winter related, sleds, snow blowers, snow shovels, ice scrapers, things like that. It's going to get very snowy. And also start thinking about Valentine's Day. That's something you don't want to forget about. It's right around the corner. It's currently December 31st. February 14th is coming up fast. And yes, we always offer free shipping. Do brands excel other knockoffs even when lower in price? I think I know what you're asking. I think you're asking, like, back to my AirPod example. What sells more, AirPods or knockoff AirPods for a fraction of the cost? I'm not sure. I think the market is very different. There are people that are only ever going to buy the AirPods because they love Apple, they trust Apple. They don't want to mess around with buying a bunch of fakes and figuring out whether one's good enough for them, or they don't even know that things like that exist. They're very like mainstream. They only see what's out there in the mainstream, which are the AirPods, and only buy those. And then there are other people in different markets that are willing to shop around for a bargain, willing to take a risk on a sort of knockoff product in hopes that it's good enough for a fraction of the price, sort of thing. And yes, always free shipping. Oh, thank you, Pel Carter. Says the veteran discount only applies to in-store purchases. So there you go. Okay. Do you recommend going with a store subscription or no store subscription when starting a new stealth account? I would say no store subscription at first is fine. You're going to be moving very slow with it. So there's no need for a store subscription right away. Okay. Okay, is a dedicated proxy plus Firefox portable enough for opening a stealth account? So that system does work. I don't like the Firefox portable. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it, because I find the Firefox portable is just such a pain to use. It's not the method that I prefer, but like I said, I'll be talking more about stealth accounts in the future, in a video coming out soon. Okay. Confidential Corp had a question about eBay stealth accounts, saying, about AliExpress. My only barrier is with Vero and copyright items. But with the thing about AliExpress is that your likelihood of getting Vero is actually much, much lower. Because if you don't know what Vero is, it stands for Verified Rights Owner Program on eBay. It's basically some brands that say, hey, even though we know you're allowed to sell our products technically, we don't want you using our stock images and stock description. Those are copyrighted, so we don't want you using them. Some brands have that, not many. On AliExpress, we have found that it's actually very, very, the chances of getting Vero or finding a Vero product are very, very low on AliExpress, because a lot of the products you're buying from AliExpress are like these no-name brands. They don't have a brand name. What you have to be careful of is when you sell that product, if you try to compare it to another product. So let's say you say in the title, like, fake AirPods. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even put the brand name in there. Yes, people are going to search for it. I just don't think it's a smart idea at all to put in the brand name that they're trying to knock off. But a lot of these products aren't even... I don't want you to think that AliExpress is just full of knockoffs. It's not what it is. There are plenty of products out there on AliExpress that are originals, that are not knockoffs of anything, that are really cool products. So those ones, a lot of times, most of the time, those aren't branded at all. They're just no name brand or very like obscure brand from China. So you shouldn't worry about Vero from AliExpress. It's less of a concern. And I talked about the shipping times already. How about returns on AliExpress? That depends on who you're working with on AliExpress, who you bought it from. So you have to contact them, and before you buy it, look at their return policy. Usually what they ask for is a picture of the item, and a lot of times they'll just refund you for the product. If they don't, if it's a lot of times the items you can get so cheap, like under $5, that it's just worth it to just refund the buyer on eBay, and that's it. I've seen I mean, I guess theoretically you could return it back to yourself if you wanted it and then refund them. But if the item arrives damaged, you can work it out with Aliexpress, and Aliexpress has protections in place for situations like that. Okay. Hey everyone, hit the thumbs up button. If you want a prosperous, happy new year, make sure to smash that like button down below as reminded by Lisa Braden. So thank you for that reminder to smash the like button down below, guys. Oh my gosh, what an insult. Is there any way to start with a lower price? I've been watching you for almost a year now. How do I start with $0? So starting out with like nothing is technically sort of possible. You can't do it on Amazon. You can do it on eBay because signing up for an eBay account and a PayPal account is free. You only pay them money when you make a sale. They'll take a portion of the sale amount. And the only issue is actually buying the item. So when you start selling on eBay, then the other thing is the software that you use. Like I recommend AutoDS, which helps you quickly list items onto eBay from your supplier's website, like Home Depot or Walmart or Home Depot or Banggood or Aliexpress. So it allows you to quickly do that, and it changes the price on eBay if the price changes on your supplier's website. And that does cost money every month, but you can get like a really cheap trial. I actually have an affiliate link in the description of this video that you can use to get that for like a $1 trial. But the problem is actually buying the items. So once the item sells on eBay, you then have to go to your supplier's website like Home Depot or AliExpress and actually buy it. Now, when you first start selling, that money is now inside your PayPal account, but PayPal is not letting you use it. They're holding on to the money to make sure you're not a scammer, basically. Once you prove that you're not a scammer, after a few months, well, actually, once the item gets delivered to the customer, they then release the money to you. So that's kind of the hurdle you have to get over as a new seller. And the way you do that is using credit cards. So use a credit card to buy the item from AliExpress or Home Depot or Walmart, whatever, ship it to the customer. Once the item arrives at the customer's address, PayPal releases the money to you, and then you can use that money to pay off your credit cards. And the cool thing about that is you can take advantage of cash back or points with the credit card to actually boost your profit, which is pretty cool. So that's really the way to get started with $0, or the closest you're going to get. And compared to any other e-commerce business model out there, this is the cheapest I've ever seen. There are certainly other businesses you can do that cost less money, but in terms of e-commerce businesses, this is, from what I've seen, the absolute cheapest one to get started. And it's just the way I explained it. I have like 40 Vero listings on eBay. Should I delete them, or is it worth the risk? That's up to you. That's your risk tolerance level. We have Vero items too that have never been an issue, but then every once in a while we get an email saying eBay deleted them. We've never gotten in trouble for it besides just getting the listings deleted. So it's really up to you whether you want to take that risk. I can't answer that for you. But what I will say is, if you're a new seller, if your account is less than 6 months old, I would not be listing any Vero items. It's just not worth it. Yeah, 6 months, that's a good amount of time. Woohoo! David says, I just finished a course and got my first sale. Woo woo! Congratulations. Yep, that's exactly what I just said, Ken. That the software is not free and that it is a $1 trial and then you pay for it. What websites do I recommend you dropship from when selling on Amazon? We really like Home Depot and Walmart, but there are plenty of them out there for you to look at. Okay. I think I have one more question saved up from the week from my friend Brian. Says, I plan on using some obscure suppliers with that in mind. So obscure suppliers, what is Brian talking about here? So Brian dropships onto eBay, and Brian uses like some more like common suppliers like Amazon, maybe Home Depot, Walmart. He wants to use more obscure ones that other people aren't using, that maybe don't have, maybe you can't scale them up as much. Maybe you can't sell a ton of items from them, but maybe you can. You don't really know until you actually try it. But the problem is that software I talked about before, AutoDS, which is software we use for eBay, it only works with a handful of suppliers. It works with the main ones that we use, so it's fine, like Home Depot, Walmart, Aliexpress, Banggood, Amazon, Costco, Costway, a bunch of others. But it doesn't work with everyone, all the suppliers. They're always adding more, but there is other software that works with a lot more suppliers. So Brian wants to know if he can use that other software, which is called SKUGrid, for those other suppliers. Yeah, that's what he's asking. And yeah, you can absolutely do that. So you can have AutoDS set up in your account and use that for your main suppliers, and then set up SKUGrid for the other ones. And that works fine because it's not going to interfere, because they're two different, because they're not what's the word I'm looking for? What am I trying to say actually? Because AutoDS is only going to work with some suppliers and SKUGrid is only going to work with the others, so they shouldn't interfere with each other. Okay. All right. So that's all I got for today. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with me this New Year's Eve. Like I said, if you have any questions about dropshipping, be sure to leave a comment on any of my videos, and I'll answer it during my next live Q&A. And remember, you have to subscribe to the channel. After you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification right there so you get alerted when I go live, so you can ask your question live and guarantee that your question will get answered. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I have some resources linked up in the description of this video if you want to sign up for my free eBay training, my free Amazon training, or if you're ready to take things to the next level this New Year's and actually sign up for the full eBay or Amazon course. I'll have both of those linked up in the description of this video, and as well as ways to contact me, like on Instagram right here. If you have any questions, send me a DM. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.